Hello ladies and gents and welcome. I am the Nerdcraft and this is the first video of the channel with hopefully more to come. Now I'm gonna keep it short as this is only an introduction on what the gist of the whole channel will be about. First and foremost, as should be pretty obvious by now, it kind of revolves around the miniature painting and the miniature wargaming side of things. As you can see from the background footage, we're actually kind of looking at some of the codexes that I first bought when I was only a small teenager starting off in the Warhammer universe. It was in fact quite a nostalgic trip having to look at them and rediscovering, I don't know if I'll be able to show in the video, but I used to have these little pieces of paper wrapped in some of the pages where I would write down my future armies or what I would like to collect. I believe I technically started on what would now be called 5th edition of Warhammer 40k. The very first models that I remember collecting were actually part of the Assault on Black Reach, if I remember correct. But that was a very long time ago, and I do remember that afterwards I moved on towards the Dark Eldar, or I think as they're called now, the Drukhari, and then of course the Blood Angels, and eventually the Tau as well. They were some fun times for sure, and I definitely have some nostalgic memories. Also, looking at the new Blood Angel models, I have to say it can be tempting to restart that army once again. But for now, we have to look to the future and what exactly I will be collecting and the videos that will surround them. Now, this was in fact a pretty difficult decision to make, but I think a few factors kind of added the way that I want to move forward. One of these factors, I have to say, is the overall and general improvement in painting and crafting materials that are now available to us. And then I think the next big factor has to be the new model lines that Games Workshop has been putting out for the Space Marines. So, as I'm sure you've guessed it by now, I'm restarting the hobby by collecting the Imperial Fists. It's definitely an ambitious army to start up again after not being part of the hobby for so long, but I've seen so many amazing videos and tutorials on how to paint the Imperial Fists. It really pumped me up and I just want to do it. But I think the big question is, what exactly does that mean for the videos that I'm planning to make? Well, I've thought about it, and considering that I would still be an amateur in the whole crafting part, I instead came up with the idea that instead of just watching me build the miniatures or paint them, the main focus of each video will instead be revolving around stories that I will write regarding whatever miniature I am making. These will be short fan-made stories surrounding the miniatures that I am creating that will hopefully add to their lore and the fluff of the overall army that I'm trying to build. Now, I'll quickly come out and say that I'm not a professional writer, but I thought this would be more fun than simply watching me, glue the plastic together and prime them and then, splatter a bit of paint on it. I think that it would make the videos far more engaging, and it would give people an interest to watch till the very end and see how the miniature turns out to be. And to be honest, you never know, maybe some good stories might come out of all of this. So I plan to make these types of videos as the main ones for the channel. But I also had the idea that after each of the models are completed, I would also kind of do like a video diary of the process and the crafting and my thoughts on them. This would of course help me break up the stories and kind of give me extra time in case I'm running a bit late on writing something. And of course, if time permits and I have the resources available, I would also like to do some terrain videos now and again, just to have a bit of fun and try out my skills. And then I would also like to leave the category open, what I like to say, the random assortment of videos that I might do now and again. Hopefully this will catch the attention of people and maybe they'll want to stick around, see what the next story has to offer. Maybe they'll even have their own fan favorite character that they want to listen to. I'm excited to see what I can offer up for people. But for now, I think this has been a long enough explanation of what I plan to do with the channel. I'll keep it short and simple and say that the next video will be the art vlog idea where I'll show off the materials that I've been able to gather. I'll see about testing out the paints and how exactly I want to create the paint scheme of the Imperial Fists. And the goal is that the video afterwards will commence with the first troops that I'd like to create and then the story that goes along with that. So I hope you stick around and see what I have to offer. Don't forget to subscribe, and then I shall see you in the next video.